Good morning. It is
Good.
morning still, right?
Good morning. Absolutely.
Welcome to episode 13 of the Jeff and Jeff podcast. I am David,
I'm Jeff.
and we're going to jump right into it because we like talking about things because that's who we are. So, what's our first story of the day? Do you remember? Oh, there's like this thing called cryptocurrency. Do you know anything about it?
It's this magical thing that just keeps losing money for people and making money for people.
Well, guess what? The U.S. government has a cryptocurrency reserve now.
Yes. And it's interesting how they got that money. So we'll see.
Well, let me ask you, what do you think of civil asset forfeiture?
I think it's theft.
Did they get some of this Bitcoin from civil asset forfeiture?
A lot of it. It's absolute theft.
So they had roughly $400,000 Bitcoin.
No, not 400,000 Bitcoin.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know why I said dollar. That was weird.
That was weird.
400,000 Bitcoin. They
Yeah.
sold 200,000 a while back and lost a ton of money because of what it's worth now. And so now they're going to just hold it in this Bitcoin reserve. Right now, and this is why the Bitcoin or the crypto people are annoyed, they're not buying any new crypto for the reserve. What they're going to do is going to try to go find all the crypto they already have, which they're not sure where it is, which I think that's a valid thing to do, to first figure out where all your stuff is. It's kind of like why they need to go to Fort Knox, just to make sure the gold's still there.
Or like they spent $4 billion to get fiber into these rural communities. And nobody got fiber.
No
Where's
one.
the money now?
An NGO got paid to put the fiber in and then didn't do anything with it.
They gave Stacey Abrams $2.7 billion. Where's the money now?
Well, see, I keep on getting sad because finding out that the Treasury was just writing checks to anyone, blank check. I could have been sending invoices to the federal government last year and getting paid for absolutely nothing. I mean, I missed out on millions of dollars.
Yeah, billions.
Billions. You're right. I could have set up an NGO.
Yeah.
I could have asked for $3 billion.
And they would give it to you. Yeah. And you could have made it up for, let's see, it's for buying new appliances for people.
Yeah, and then just buy two for someone else.
Anyhow.
So, yes, we have cryptocurrency reserve. The crypto market dropped 5% once it was announced because people were disappointed.
Well,
and I'm a little disappointed because I put a bet on a crypto reserve being created on Kalashi. I think that's how you say it. Probably said it wrong, though. But I didn't realize that there was a little note in there that says they have to buy cryptocurrency from outside the it can't be their own holdings. They have to buy some external cryptocurrency to put in there for me to win. So,
well, the other thing that's interesting about that is it's only in
Bitcoin.
They didn't do any of
They
these
talked
other
about a digital asset stockpile, but nothing else really was mentioned other than Bitcoin.
Yep.
Which is, there's a reason for that. Yes, there are, from a technological perspective, some better cryptocurrency. But for cryptocurrency to work, it has to be popular.
Yeah.
And what's the most popular one?
Bitcoin by far.
By far. So, yeah, we got a Bitcoin reserve and a digital asset stockpile. And there is a potential of them buying some things to put it into it, probably near the end of the year. So I could still win my bet, possibly.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yes.
I put some wild bets out there. One of them was that I bet that he would make the USPS private by the end of the year.
Oh.
Yep.
That
I think it's going to happen.
Well, if you think about it, I don't know. We could go to home delivery once a week.
Here, let me see if I pull it up for you.
We could. We could literally go to home delivery once a week. And I don't know of any people that would really be upset about that.
No, I have the L in the wrong spot. Yeah. I don't put much money in here, but... All right, there you go. So we can look at this for a second. You can bet on all kinds of things.
Shoot, I ought to bet.
Kind of fun. Will Trump declassify the Epstein documents?
That's what I'm saying. So I ought to bet against that one because
government shut down before March 19th. Job
Wow.
numbers. Who will visit the White House? Will Doge and Elon Musk claim there's missing gold at Fort Knox?
So let's see.
There's
Yes
there's other
is
things that I don't care about, but
27% on the last one you just read.
this one here.
Yeah, no, that one. What is that?
So they have a couple of different ways. More is normally just two types of bets. You can say yes, it'll happen, or no, it won't. But there's also some other ones. So right now, 27% have said yes, this will happen.
Oh, that would.
Yeah, and so if you vote no, you actually make a lot of money if you win.
That's why. Okay.
Yeah. So that's fun. And so you've got up the top, you can go to politics, and it'll show you all the bets for politics. Who will win the room? It's fun. Do not. This is not financial advice. Don't go putting lots of money in here.
Matter of fact,
I put like $20.
That is a financial advice. Don't bet.
Okay.
That's financial
Whenever
advice.
whenever you're going to a casino, take the same strategy. Expect to lose everything.
Yes.
So don't put any more money in than you are willing to lose. But it is kind of fun because you can go in there and bet on things.
There's actually what will Caroline Leavitt say during her next press briefing?
Yes.
Give me a break.
Yeah.
Lawsuit
they've
or deport?
They got 3. So.
Oh, gosh.
And they actually know they have a bunch more. So she's going to talk about eggs, GM, interest rates.
So eggs are interesting because Biden administration killed a third of all of the chickens in the U.S. right before he.
It's kind of like what he did to Ukraine.
Yeah.
He was trying to ramp up the war before he left.
Yep. Exactly. And so that right there, you think about it. You kill a third of the egg-producing birds in the U.S. What the heck is going to happen with prices? They're
going to go down because Biden was the best and brightest president we ever had.
We
forgot to add that story. We'll have to add it back later.
Yeah, we should.
All right.
The egg thing is just insane.
Ooh, I bet there's a bet on egg prices.
I bet there is. Will egg prices go up? Let's see.
96% chance. Yeah, they've gone up just because of that. What you just said.
Yeah, but that's over already.
It is. So you have to read. So this is important. You can just bet for fun, but if you don't read the rules, they might have some weird rules. Here's the specific rules on how it works. And so there's a specific set of things that have to happen for it to work out.
Okay.
Because I won money on here from betting that Trump was going to win the election. Yes. So it's been fun. All right, what's next on our list? What do we want to talk about next? Oh, so cryptocurrency. The other thing I want to mention, David Sachs is the crypto czar now. Trump put him in there to help with that kind of stuff. A bunch of people in the crypto community were pissed at him, saying, he's just in it to make money himself. So he did his interview. We'll have a link in the description. Talking about how when he got offered the position, he immediately sold all his crypto assets, sold out of everything related to crypto so that he would be independent. And so you can believe him or not, but I think that was the smart thing to do.
Well, that's not even what Congress does.
No, not at all.
When they're on a committee for managing, I don't know, whatever, they don't have to, all they have to do is put it in somebody else's control. And they should be forced to do the same thing. If you're in charge of the EV products for the U.S., you should have to totally purge your portfolio of all of it.
I don't disagree, but it's never going to happen.
No, I agree.
So what we should do is up how quickly we get told about trades to within the same day.
Yes.
/hour.
Yeah.
And then we could just all follow their trades.
It's true. We would do a lot better. We could follow Nancy Pelosi's trade strategy. And
yeah, it would be that. It's just corruption. So you want to talk about this next story? It's an exciting story.
I am absolutely... I had hopes that this would go better.
So we're not going to tell them what we're talking about until we get there, but they tried to control media for their means to get results.
Yes.
And it blew up in their face.
Absolutely blew up in their face. And hopefully the so-called influencers that were here getting the binders learned a lesson as well.
Well, they did, but so if you haven't guessed yet, we're talking about the Epstein list, phase 1.
The list
and this
that
nice little
wasn't a
photo
list.
op that happened. I don't feel bad so much for the influencers. They were there for a different purpose. They were there for essentially a different type of media group discussion with the vice president to talk about what they could do and how they could use them, and then they got given these binders and walked out. The thing is that most people don't understand is when someone gives you information and says, don't release anything on it, don't talk about it till X time. The reason you don't talk about it and the reason you don't say anything is because you want them to continue giving you information. And so a lot of these influencers took pictures, which they really shouldn't have, but they did. But couldn't say anything about it. And they were told up front this was a nothing burger. But they couldn't say anything about it because they were told not to say anything about it. So they got used as a tool of Pam Bondi, essentially, to put pressure on the
New York office of the FBI.
SNY? Or,
Yeah.
I don't remember.
It's the New York office of the FBI.
Southern District, sorry.
Yeah.
Southern District of New York. SN.
DYN. DNY.
I can't figure it out. But yeah, that's
DNY.
Yes. To get them to do their job. And supposedly she got a bunch of files. And the other thing people don't realize is you're never going to get it on a redacted list. There are several very good reasons for that. First is victims' information. You don't want to release any of the victims' information. That means there's going to be redactions, which is going to irritate people because they think you should just have all the information.
But it shouldn't be redacted the way that stuff was redacted.
No. And then the other part is if there are any high-level people that they're looking into currently and they were trying to get enough information to arrest them, they're not going to give you that information. And that's going to disappoint people. So be realistic on what you think might be released. I do think they're going to release more information. It's just not going to be what you want because it's the government and they have things going on. And now you can either trust that the things that they have going on are good, or you can assume they're being devious. And I think with the Trump administration, we have at least a little bit more comfort that they're doing somewhat good things with it.
When the first high-level person is arrested, the confidence level will go through the roof.
That's correct.
And until that time, the confidence level is going to be on the floor in the mud.
This is true.
Until that time.
Though Cash being in office, they've already arrested 3 people.
The military.
So
yeah, but they're foreigners in our military, U.S. military. Look
still,
at their names.
that is wonderfully
still a good thing. Not an argument, but it's still a good thing. The other thing I would like to mention, though, it seems like Trump has been in office for a year or two already.
Oh yeah, it seems like a while.
It seems like forever. This is only his second month.
Not even a full second month.
Yeah.
We've got 5 more days?
Yeah, and so it seems like because of all the stuff that he's done, it really seems like he's been in office for a year or two. But in reality, it's only been 2 months, not quite 2 months. And it's like, wow.
So we're all excited because we're winning so much, but we also can be a little bit patient because he's only been in office 2 months. Yeah. So
I'm willing to
let the man work.
And I'm willing to, I want to see the first high-level perp walk.
Well, that'll
give me lots of confidence.
It'll give the American people confidence what comes into this budget bill that gets passed. Because I know Trump wants an omnibus, which means there's going to be some crap in it. And he knows that because of the margins we have in the House and the Senate. But if the majority of the bill is really good, it'll make a lot of people happy. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So.
Tariffs.
That's terrific.
I did find out one thing, that it's like 100% of the toilet paper in Canada comes from the U.S. And
so I guess they're getting bidets.
And I thought, wow. I thought also, I bet they could, if you want to sell tons of toilet paper in Canada, just put Trudeau's face on all of it.
There you go. That would
And
work
they would
really
be
well.
they'd run. You couldn't print it fast enough.
Did you see his video?
Which
His
one?
last public meeting.
No, I didn't.
He's finally resigning.
I
Will
mean,
it help Canada? Maybe not, because who they elect next might be terrible.
I did see the Providence head of not
Quebec?
Quebec.
Is it
It was
Quebec?
Quebec, I think it
I think
was.
it
Yeah,
is.
that came to the U.S. and said, "Please make it the 51st state."
I didn't see that one. I
Yeah.
saw the one in, I think it's Ontario, the one who's stopped working with Starlink,
Oh yeah. No,
And-
this was
and that whole city pulled all the already purchased liquor from the U.S.
yes,
off the shelf.
yeah, like that.
Okay, you paid for it already. You're not going to sell it? Fine, I guess.
Whatever. So this, what we have up on the screen is these tariffs have been in place for years by Canada.
Yeah.
And so we have this free trade agreement with Canada and Mexico, and that means there's not supposed to be any tariffs.
Well, I don't think it says no tariffs, but
Well-
it's supposed to be minimal.
But look at the list of tariffs we've
Oh,
got
yeah.
here.
They tariff a ton of our stuff.
And so
a lot.
Trump is just, with the reciprocal tariffs, he's just
which
trying to
start
level.
April 1st, so they haven't
Yep.
started yet.
Yeah, and he's trying to level the playing field. If they put 270% tariff on milk,
Mm-hmm.
well, guess what? We should put 270% tariff on. We should take an average of these, and whatever
Oh, yeah.
the average is, that's what they get.
I used to be more of a free trade person, and the thing I've realized is it doesn't exist. It's like communism. The people who promote are like, well, it's never actually been done. No, it has been, and it was terrible.
Every time
Free trade, in theory, is great,
in practice.
but in practice, it doesn't ever happen because not only do countries put tariffs on, but they also do things in the back end, like China does, where they'll take a product that costs $30 to produce, they'll pay that corporation $20 per product, and so that they can sell
it for 10.
for 10. And it's like
To destroy
they're actually
them.
not producing it that
Yeah.
cheaply. They're just trying to take over the market.
Yeah, so they can destroy the other manufacturers.
Yeah, and so that's the other thing that Trump said with the reciprocal tariffs is it's not just on tariffs. It's not just say Canada puts a 25% tariff on, we're going to do 25%. It's also if Canada does 25% tariff and then starts subsidizing things, we're going to do a reciprocal tariff
yeah.
on both of those things.
Yep. And it should be. And the other interesting thing that just people need to be aware of, the first comment right there on that article is, where are your sources? I'm Googling it and I can't find anything. You guys have got to stop using Google. Google hides so much information from people.
So does DuckDuckGo now.
So does DuckDuck, because they are owned by Google. They got bought by
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so you've got to find other sources than
Well, and
Google.
then Firefox just nuked themselves with the terms of service update. So right now, Brave browser is the only one that isn't completely awful. So
Yeah. And they have their own search engine. I use that all the time. But Grok is now, it's still biased in some ways, because
It is.
you can see, like, if you ask it any medical information, it's ingested all of the standard medical stuff. And so what it regurgitates for medical is a lot of biased information.
yeah,
So it's because it's only can spit out what it's ingested, but it is getting better and better and better. And so hopefully Grok will be have a huge impact on things like this.
oh yeah, it's a lot. I still haven't figured out the best way to do Google searches with it for like specific links. Sometimes it's great at giving me the specific source. Sometimes it's not at all. But
It's getting better,
it is.
but I agree with you there. The other thing that we should have brought up is the small data Republican, small r.
Here, I can go find it. Go ahead and talk about it though.
Yeah, and the reason we ought to talk about that is because this is a girl that has been doxxed now. She's a young lady who has she just puts out numbers,
She does.
and she has been doxxed now. She's completely deaf. She's got a video interview out right now
Yeah.
because of what happened. and she is putting out some. Everybody ought to follow her. She's been putting out some incredible finds of how corrupt everything is. She's going after Republicans. She's going after Democrats. She's put a bunch of these different senators or representatives are doing smurfing, and everybody needs to go look that up and find out because it's illegal. And the Democrats and the Republicans both are doing it.
Yep, correct. And she's launched a couple tools as well. I'm trying to find
has
the links to her tools. Oh, there you go. This one here.
Yep.
So what's fun about this is you can look up donor names and stuff.
Well,
which
we
is
did.
Fun. And you can also
we covered this a couple weeks ago.
Federal
but
grants now.
She's added some features to it since then.
Yes.
And she's continuing to do that.
Then you got.
And the smaller dollar donations that you just went through is where she shows the smurfing, by the way, the political campaign and grant funding.
She's got some voter turnout stuff.
Yep.
So should be fun. So go take a look at it. We'll put that link in our thing as well. What do we have? Blah, blah, blah. Tariffs. So we finished talking about that. So he did put a pause on USMCA free trade companies that would be involved in it for tariffs until April 2nd as well. So that's auto manufacturers, and I wish he wouldn't have, because the only auto manufacturers that benefit from the pause are the ones that are so-called American.
Yeah.
They don't actually make any of the cars in America anymore.
They build them in Mexico and ship them back.
The only ones who make cars in America are foreign companies. Toyota, Honda, I think Hyundai might be now.
Actually, there's one other one that makes cars.
And then Tesla, which is an American company.
Yes.
No, that's the only American company that makes American-made.
Correct.
So however much you dislike Elon, at least his companies are in America and his manufacturing is here. So he supports the U.S. economy a lot more than GM or Ford.
All I see with Trump here is he's negotiation. This whole thing is negotiations, and that's all it is he's just negotiating, and you can see he's willing to negotiate because he puts it off. He threats to put it back on. He puts it off, and it's just this constant. I'm negotiating with you guys. You guys need to get serious about this.
Correct.
I'm negotiating.
Yeah, and that kind of falls into our next story of the Ukraine war. So I didn't pull up the exact article, but there's been tons of news about this lately. I mean, this is after our last podcast.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Zelensky coming to the White House. Let's do that first. How'd that go? So to lay the groundwork, Marco Rubio, I feel bad for the poor guy. He had talked to Zelensky and his team and come to an agreement saying, you're going to sign this minerals agreement and you're going to work towards peace, and then you're going to come to the White House, and all that is just a formality, meet the president, yuck it up a bit, eat lunch, talk to the press, sign the stuff, and move on. Agreement. So what happened? He came to the White House.
One of the problems that's come out since then is that he met with some of the Democrat leadership before he went and met with Trump.
Oh, that was a dumb decision.
And they told him to not do it. And so then he went in the White House and acted like Napoleon's brother.
Yeah, I would say a petulant child.
Well, that's what we know of Napoleon. He was the same way. But he acted like a petulant child. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is so nice. Now, I may not agree with everything that went on, but it was so nice to see the vice president and the president standing up for America and our interests. Correct. We have no interest in Ukraine unless he gives us the mineral rights. We have no interest there.
Well, that is the whole security agreement. We're not going to give it agreement for security. We're going to say, if you make us align with your interests, then of course we're going to help you out. But if our interests aren't aligned,
well, and plus if we have American companies in there and they're mining minerals and refining minerals, and somebody comes in to invade, guess what we're going to do?
Oh, we're going to protect them.
We're going to protect our. Well, if Trump's in office, we will.
That's the only reason that I think Trump right now is supporting Israel as much as he is because of the hostages. If Hamas released every single hostage, Trump wouldn't tell Israel to stop. He would just say, we're done. We're not going to do anything. you do what you want to do.
And there's your other segue as well is, did you see that Trump's plan to make, I don't think we have it up, Trump's plan to make Gaza the American and have America take over Gaza?
Yeah.
Was rejected by, of course, the neighbors. And then they came up with a $53 billion plan amongst themselves to rebuild Gaza.
The only problem with their plan is they're going to keep the Palestinians in place, and that would not work.
Yep.
I'm trying to find it real quick, but you're right. They did push back.
Negotiation again from Trump. That's it. It's negotiation.
And everyone's like, "Well, Trump didn't go to." No, he got exactly what he wanted, and now he gets to say that's a great idea, except for this.
Yeah. No, it's just negotiation again.
Yeah, he's very good at negotiating.
So
it looks like we are going to get a peace deal, though. Russia has made it pretty clear that they're ready. Trump did put a little pressure on them because he said he was going to possibly throw a bunch of sanctions and stuff on Russia to force them to come to the table. And so it looks like everyone's there, because what happened with Zelensky is after his temper tantrum, he got thrown out of the White House.
Literally.
And went back home with his tail between his legs. Then he went back into Europe and the UK for money, and they voted on it and said no.
It's just stupid. It's
and
insane.
So now he's back and saying, "Hey, I'll agree. Yeah, let's sign the mineral rights deal."
And I wouldn't believe a word he says.
I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't, and I think Trump doesn't either. But
oh no, he's smart.
It's interesting to see this play out, because Russia did. It says there that they're just pounding Ukraine, and they did. They launched the largest war battle in I don't know how many months.
Yeah.
Against the Ukraine. There's a couple of reasons for it. One of them is spring and starting to warm up, but
yeah,
it's insane. It's just crazy.
But they're not willing to stop until there's talks.
Correct.
So they need to get that. That's why he should have signed it when he was here, and we probably have a ceasefire already.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and we need to go after some of these Democrats with the Logan Act.
Yes, we do.
And it's treason what they've been doing.
Not just Democrats in the House and Senate, but Democrat governors as well.
Well, not just that, but like Susan Rice. She's one of the Democrats that he met with, and she told him not to do the deal.
Yeah, we need to so the difference between Trump in office and the way he's going to go after people and Biden is when one party decided to go after just their political enemies constantly for law stuff and make it up crap. It looks like when a new party gets in office and is applying the law evenly, it looks like he's going off his political rivals when he's not. He's just applying the law evenly.
Yeah.
So it's going to happen. People are going to be pissed about it, and people are going to say that he's going after those political enemies, and which is why he has to be very good at making sure he has all the evidence before he puts them on trial and convicts them.
Absolutely.
Make sure it's clean as possible.
Yep.
So, next thing, he had this speech that wasn't too long ago. Remember that? It was fun. I enjoyed it. I actually listened to the whole thing. He's a bit of a comedian. And he also is having a lot of fun with the Democrats.
That's the thing that's I think irritates a lot of people, is that he's actually up there and you can tell he's enjoying it.
Oh yeah, he's
when he ripped into the Democrats and said, "There's nothing I can do. Obviously, there's nothing I can do to make these people happy. So, if there's nothing you can do, then just ignore them and just move on and do what you're doing." And that's exactly what he's doing.
Well, no, he's not just ignoring them. He's purposely egging them on.
Too.
He's purposely poking them.
Yeah.
Hey, look, you're not going to clap for this. Ha ha.
Well, they were stupid what they didn't clap for.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the stuff, political stuff, if you don't like it, don't clap for it.
Correct.
There was one Democrat that stood up, one lady. She stood up and clapped for the cancer victim, the little boy.
The little boy, JD.
One Democrat.
Yeah. Everyone should have clapped for that kid. That kid is awesome. He has beaten brain cancer, and he's
15 surgeries, I think, in his brain.
Completely insane.
So it's just insane, but it's bad. It's a bad look for him.
It's a very bad look, but I'm okay with it. Keep on doing it. Keep on looking terrible.
Yep.
The Republicans will sweep the midterms.
if they, yeah,
Keep it up.
absolutely. Yep,
Just
keep
keep
it
it up.
Yep, absolutely.
But I loved his speech. He did a really good job. He pointed out a bunch of things that are going on. He did a great thing. So the biggest thing, first off, don't listen to the corporate press because they lie constantly. Anytime you see a clip of a speech and it is made to say a certain thing, my best suggestion to you is go listen to the whole thing.
Even if you just listen to the segment where that clip
Correct.
came from, you'll get the context, and the context matters.
Because there's so many people out there clipping things, especially like with the Zelensky meeting. People try to clip it up to make J.D. Vance and Trump look bad. Zelensky started the fight, and they finished it.
Yeah, told him to shut up and sit down.
Yeah.
And his little feet wouldn't
Here,
hit the floor.
I've got a question for you. Just imagine what it would have been like to have Mike Pence there as the VP. I'm so glad he's not the VP. He was so bad.
I thought he would be better than he was,
Oh yeah, we had a little bit of hope,
Yeah.
but he was terrible.
and still is.
Oh, completely terrible
Yeah.
still.
And so I don't. That's weird. I thought he would be better than he was.
Yeah. You ready for some positive news? So
Let's talk.
partially positive.
That's
Half
positive.
and half.
It's positive. Yeah, I'm ready for it.
All right, we'll watch this little video. I'll get it queued up and then we'll move over to it. Hold on. All right. All right. Hopefully you guys can see this. So SpaceX had their eighth test launch, and I always enjoy watching them catch the booster rocket. It's just so much fun.
It looks unreal.
It is unreal. I mean,
looks
it really
absolutely
does.
Unreal.
Come down to 3 engines as the booster slows down for its landing.
It's incredible.
We just heard the sonic
It's
boom.
awesome. It's as tall as a skyscraper.
See the super heavy booster gliding down into the chopstick arms once again.
It looks unreal because it looks like it's about 6 inches tall.
Yeah, it's true.
It does. It doesn't look, because you can't get the scale because there's like no human standing next to it or a pickup truck or something.
Yeah,
it
it's
lands.
massive.
But it's 400 feet.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Sadly, they did have to do a rapid, unscheduled
Explosion.
explosion of Starship. They had a problem with the rockets on it, and it started spinning out of control. They couldn't get it back. It was kind of cool to watch the camera as it spun out of control, but they couldn't get it back under, and so they blew it up.
Yeah.
Rapid disassembly.
That's it.
Unscheduled disassembly.
Unscheduled disassembly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Correct. So
That's pretty
if you
cool,
haven't
though.
watched that, it's awesome. So, and if you haven't watched the one Starship water landing where it does the flip perfectly and lands,
Oh.
that's also cool, and it's so sci-fi. The first time I saw it do that, I was like, that can't be real, but it is.
Especially the legs underneath it. It looks like they're fine little legs because they're not really big, and yet it sets down gently enough that it doesn't crush them.
Yep. Yeah. And now we get to the fun stories.
Yes. So here's some bizarre stories of the week. Okay.
All right, they should be able to see it now.
I didn't know you could have $400,000 worth of cheddar cheese in. I honestly didn't
Did you
know
know
that.
the U.S. has a stockpile of cheese? Lots and lots of cheese.
That's 20 tons of cheddar cheese.
You know, I know a lot of people would be okay if they had a shed full of 20 tons of cheese.
Well, there you go. There's a lot of people, yeah. And so they shipped. What happened is somebody said they were going to buy this cheese from, and they shipped 950 of these big things of cheese,
Yep.
only to have them stolen.
They just never paid for it.
Yeah. And so it's just one of those strange things that it struck me odd, is because I didn't realize, first of all, 20 tons of cheddar cheese.
Yeah, it has to be like a restaurant chain or something.
Yeah,
A
something.
large enough group of people that use cheese.
Well, they posed as a wholesaler.
Oh, that makes sense too.
Yeah. They set it up, and that was all it was. So they didn't do any investigation or anything
That's why
before
you
they
get
shipped
paid
the
up
stuff.
front.
I would think you would get at least half up front before you
You
ship
can also
it.
use an escrow service where they have to pay all the money into it,
Yeah.
and then you don't get it until you deliver the cheese.
Yeah.
And it's a third party.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a bunch of different ways to do it, but also, yeah, make sure you vet people before you give them things. Also,
I
if the
suspect-
IRS calls you and says that you owe them money and you should pay with Apple gift cards, that's not the IRS.
Or any kind of gift card.
Correct. So, yeah.
I suspect Neil's will probably vet their customers a little better next time.
Probably.
The sad part about it is it might put Neil's out of business. Because if you lose that kind of money,
Depends on
that's
how
a
big of a cheese
yeah.
maker they are. If they are a professional and they've been around for a while, they probably have a warehouse of hundreds of thousands of tons of cheese.
oh, I get it. But
at
at
various-
the same time, if their margins are small enough,
That's true.
that could really
It
hurt,
could hurt a lot.
their business.
Yeah.
So anyhow,
So what's this next story we got?
this has got to be the strangest thing yet. If you
Keep on going.
play this, and you'll have to skip toward the end because this is a whole setup about how these people play their orchestra with vegetables. And it's just an odd thing for people to do, and I didn't understand. I mean, I guess you do whatever you do, right? I mean,
Should we listen to it?
yeah, if you listen to it and skip about 3/4 of the way through,
All right, let me change screens here.
you got to get through the stupid
I'm
ad.
going to bring the volume down a little bit.
All right, come on, ad.
Come on. Is this an ad? No, this isn't an ad. This is the thing.
Oh, go to the end. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Here we go. No, you got to get further. Go further.
Further?
Keep going. About three. There we go. Why is that background music playing?
It's just the video.
It's just weird. But anyhow, this is what they do. There you go.
So if you want to try hard, you can play with vegetables.
You can.
I prefer an orchestra with normal instruments, though. It's
So
just
would I.
me.
And then the last
Story of
bizarre-
the day is my childhood. Well, Pokemon was out way before my childhood, but it got real popular when I was a kid, and it's popular again. And it's so popular that a
Somebody
Cheeto
paid way too
shaped
much money for a Cheeto that's shaped like something.
$72,000.
No, 87.
87?
87 up the
Oh,
top, very
okay.
top.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
It's
Wow.
just insane.
So if you want to buy this, you'll have to pay him more than $87,000.
Oh, that's why it's 72,000. It says it was 72,000 plus the buyer's premium, so it ended up being 87. That's
Makes sense.
that's a huge buyer's premium. Good grief.
That's why I don't like eBay. If you try to sell anything on there, it's so hard.
That's crazy. Anyhow, that's bizarre. People have enough money that they're spending it on Cheetos.
Yeah. And that's our stories of the week.
All right.
Got
everyone?
anything else you want to add?
Nope. Have a good week.
Well, if you liked it and you like our beautiful faces, you should probably like and subscribe. And also share it with your friends.
Yep.
'Cause that's a
we're
great
all
way.
We're on Rumble, you name it, we're on it. So
Well, we got the video podcast on Rumble, YouTube, X, and then we have the audio podcast everywhere.
as well. Yep. So like and subscribe. Thank you guys.
And we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yep.
Bye.